The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening. I would like to call the June 17, 2025 City Council meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. The public is encouraged to join the meeting online or by phone at the number printed on the agenda, which can be found on the city's website at www.diamondbarca.gov, or in person, Main Auditorium, South Coast Air Quality Management District. We have also allowed public comments to be submitted in advance to the city clerk. If any were received, they will be noted for the record when we get to the public comment period. This meeting is being recorded, and by participating, you are giving your permission to be televised. This meeting will be rebroadcast every Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. and alternate Tuesday at 8 p.m. and archived for viewing on the city's website at www.diamondbar.ca.gov. Now we're going to proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance, invocation, and the roll call. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Pro Tem Steve Tai.
Please stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance for the, in my opinion, the greatest country on God's green earth.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. And then please remain standing for the invocation by Deacon Alfred Guerrero, St. Denis Catholic Church.
Let us silence ourselves and put ourselves in the presence of the Father in heaven. Oh, Heavenly Father, I thank you for this meeting of this City of Diamond Bar Council. May you bless the agenda that we're about to discuss. And please send down your abundant blessings on our mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, city council members, and the entire staff of the City of Diamond Bar, and all the residents of Diamond Bar. Give safe passages to everyone that travels through our city. Send your protection on our sheriff deputies, firefighters, and paramedics, and keep them safe from harm. Bless all nurses, doctors, and everyone in the healthcare establishment. As we approach this summer season, may we be generous to those who are in need of food, housing, and friendship. We ask this in the great name of our Father in heaven. Amen.
Thank you, Deacon. Please be seated. City Clerk Santana, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow is absent. Councilmember Liu is absent. Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Lowe,
I am here, actually.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai,
That makes two of us.
and Mayor Tang.
Here.
Here. Thank you. Next is approval of agenda. City Manager Fox, are there any change to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda this evening.
Thank you. The agenda is hereby approved. Next session is a special presentation certificate proclamation. I understand there's a special presentation today. Shall we do that?
Well, let's do the public comments first with Cynthia.
Okay, well, I'll leave that until the public comments period. So next session is the city manager reports and Okay, so we'll go ahead for the city manager's report. Mr. Fox, do you have a report?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'd like to invite Aziz Amiri, the CEO for the Regional Chamber San Gabriel Valley, to the podium to make his presentation on their annual report.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council members, city staff, and members in the audience and citizens of Diamond Bar. My name is Aziz Amiri. I'm the CEO of the Regional Chamber of Commerce San Gabriel Valley. And with me today is our co-founder and president-elect of the chamber, Nev Cortez, sitting behind me. Thank you. First of all, thank you to all of you for giving the chamber an opportunity to give an annual report to the council and the citizen. I see that as a privilege that we have earned to be in front of you every year. So thank you for your time. So last year I stood before you and talked to you about the revival plan for the chamber coming out of the COVID pandemic. Today our president is sending a message to the community that to thank you for support of the chamber since 1986. And we thank you all, and I'm pleased, he says, I'm pleased to say that we have successfully revived and refreshed and renewed and pivoted our chamber. And next week, actually this week, June 19th, we're installing a new board president, citizen of Davenport, Lauren James. We invite you to all join us. So the post-COVID transition results are here, that we now have a robust website. We expanded our board from 7 members during COVID to 17, updated the bylaws, installed the board for the first time since COVID in 5 years. We have now created awareness of our chamber and have collaboration with many agencies. We are financially stable, and we have a renewal with this diversity contract. We thank you for that. And since 2023, we have gained about 85 new members, or an accumulated membership increase of 14.6%. We're facing headwinds like everyone else. There's a decline in traditional Main Street retail, which you see it everywhere in our city and everywhere you drive. The e-commerce platform has taken over the retail sales activities. So the chamber is challenged with providing services to our Main Street businesses. What are the other challenges we face? Since there's a change in demographics shift, early on when I joined the Chamber of Commerce, we had one Chamber of Commerce. Now, due to diverse demographic, there are many, many sub-splintered affinity chambers. Asian American Chamber of Commerce, Indian American Chamber of Commerce, right? And so on and so forth. And that has kind of diminished the primary role of the Chamber of Commerce as a key supporter of businesses. Everyone has their own interests, they're pursuing it, and that's very good. We converted our website to a very robust site, and we have 50,000 visits a year to our chamber website. And then this digital business magazine has been visited 50,000 times. And members who visit there are searching and for businesses, and they have reached 40,000 businesses. This is what our Chamber of Commerce website looks like. If you look below the blue box, there are 4 tiles. What are these? They represent the resources for small business facing tariff issues. Our members can go to these links and get resources to solve the problems they're having with tariff. There's another group of tiles, and this is in aftermath of the fires in the region. Everyone is looking for a way for funding, grants, information, and each tile represents a link to those resources. And if you notice to the bottom, there are 2 tiles. One is the city of Davenport. This is for those who are interested in looking for relocation to our city. We have many vacant office spaces, industrial spaces. The Public Council is a free legal advice to small businesses and nonprofit. We also have providing our members with opportunities to bid for for businesses. So if you look to the left, it's a Mount Sac in partnership with Chamber of Commerce reaching out to the local businesses if they want to do business with Mount Sac. To the right, you will see links to many, many agencies, federal, state, local, educational, that our members can go in and look for bidding opportunities, including training for how to apply for those RFPs. These are some of the activities we have done in grand opening in the area, that these two are coming up next week. We have done grand openings here in our city. And we also have done many, many collaborative events. If you look, there's the Asian American Business Expo. We supported that. We also support the annual State of the Union address by Linda Sanchez, our congresswoman. It will happen again July 31st. We support local nonprofit organizations by promoting their events. So these are two examples of that. We also went to help 29 micro enterprises that are being displaced due to a redevelopment site here in Walnut. So we are the first agencies that went to assist them with information and relocation. Our goal was to ensure that these businesses find location within our own county. These are the grants that we brought to the small businesses from the gas company through the California Restaurant Association. 3 grants were given out with our assistance. We also promote the grants from the counties, and there are many others. These are just 2 examples. We also have multilingual assistance link. So if you look to the left, is a training, digital training in Spanish for our Spanish-speaking business owners. We also have going to have one with Asian American businesses in Mandarin. We also have promoting grants from the Verizon that businesses can get up to $10,000 in grant. This promotion will end June 25th. We also support our businesses with lifelong learning experiences. As they face headwinds, we need to educate them on how to be a better businessman and entrepreneurs. And to the left is our partnership with Mount Sac. And all of these are done in collaboration with 18 other chambers in the region. We do networking events twice a month. Here's what the economic outlook looks like in 2025 according to the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership Report. If you look to the left, top left, it says moderate growth after post-pandemic rebound. So they're not very, very optimistic with the headwinds we're facing with tariff, fires, and other issues. Here we look at Diamond Bar budget forecast. If you see, it's a very cautious optimism of our tax revenue. And that tells you that the city manager is forecasting also very stable economic activity in this area. But there's a larger threat, and we must keep an eye on these threats. This is larger than anything we're facing, is out-migration of people out of the community. We're losing population. 2 schools have closed in Pomona school districts, 1 in Hacienda Heights, La Puente, because of lack of students. This is not good news for us. So what happens traditionally, city managers, not only here, everywhere, would look at economic development focus, looking at taxes as a way to measure economic growth and development. What we want to advise the city managers that we're missing the forest for the tree when we focus on just only tax. If you look at the key assets in our community, housing, 51% of our population has education, young population, employment of 77% are white-collar job and 11% is blue-collar. This is our asset we need to protect in order for our economy to grow. We don't want them to leave. What we're asking is that city managers throughout the San Gabriel Valley, when they put the strategies together for economic development, is to look at preservation of community intellectual capital and workforce retention as part of the strategy. How do we keep them here? So this is our growth plan for 2025, 2030. This is our new mission. Looking at those data, we realize that we have to change our mission, where we would like to work to promote education and workforce empowerment so we can keep our residents learning, earning, living, and thriving in our communities. What are strategic priorities? There are 5 areas we'll be looking at 5 years hence. And when you look at it, you say, how in the hell are you going to do this? This is huge strategy in the next 5 years for the Chamber of Commerce. I ask myself every day, will I be able to do it? But I'm very optimistic because we're already on the road with these activities. So supply chain is a key economy in our region because of City of Industry right here to the west, and to the east is Ontario, East San Bernardino Valley. We need to ensure that our students and our workers know about the opportunity supply chain. So we are the only Chamber of Commerce partnered with Mount SAC and in the leadership panel scholarship at the Coastline Community College. We also had a honor roll school awards for principals. 22 principals were recognized for excellent work they do in our region. And these were the guests that came and participated in our activity just in March. This is something I want to point out to you why I said this is a great threat for us. If you look at this chart, you will see in the bottom right where the yellow circle is, do you know only 68% of our high school graduates go to college? No, don't go to college. 68% doesn't. Some who go to the college, 2-year college, only 3% get the associate degree. The rest are still enrolled, and only 24% of our students end up in university. And according to the Gallup survey, 80% of those graduates cannot function at workplace. So we are working with Education Result Partnership to promote skill currency, including education, which means that everyone who is going to school, colleges, must come out earning degree with skills needed for today's economy. These are some of the way we are promoting our youth to join the workforce, earn early experiences so they can grow and earn at the same time. It's not a free internship. If any business need help during summer, reach out to me. I can show them how to hire interns free, paid for by the County of Los Angeles. Yes. So if people are looking for workers and they cannot bear the burden of cost, talk to me, please. I'll guide them. We're also partnering with the governor's office on rebuilding of our region. So these are the issues we are communicating with the governor's office. If you remember last year, I came before you and talked about starting a website called Visit San Gabriel Valley. The chamber was ready then to start this project. We are looking for collaboration. We're looking for startup fund, seed money to get this started. Since then, look what has happened. These are the activities that are going to occur in our region. In Anaheim, which is just down 57, City of Arcadia up 60 and 10, City of Pomona right here. There's going to be cricket games. City of South El Monte will have activities. We cannot miss this opportunity to bring a sports economy to our region. So our website has a model already. This is what we have reserved. We are working on this. Visit San Gabriel Valley, there's no other chamber that has this. So I'm looking for partnership with the local economic development team to kickstart this. The next thing we know is that federal government, state government, and cities require that businesses that have bidding with them required to be certified. If they don't have certification, they cannot get the business bidding passed by any agency. We're going to have an event in a couple of months to teach our professionals how to get certified so they can participate in this economy. We're working with LA Rise to bring opportunities here together with the LA County office. So these are the upcoming activities that are happening. We have an installation dinner on 19th. On August 2nd, we are going to have a joint event called Home Defense and Community Rebuilding Expo with the Greater West Covina Chamber of Commerce, August 2nd. This is going to be a floating expo. We're going to bring that to Diamond Bar, to Rowland Heights, because all of us have wildfire threats. So what we need from you is collaborative approach. We are appreciative of the support we receive from the city council, citizen, and city staff. And please, Dan, if you will thank Ryan on our behalf for working with us, and he's been excellent representative of the city, so thank you. Do you have any questions or comments?
Thank you for your presentation. Any question or comments from my colleagues? Councilmember Lowe?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Aziz, for your presentation. It is really takes the chamber in a different direction and very much different than what we see in a typical chamber where you're providing opportunities for businesses to network and work together and become a community. So I guess that's my first question. Based upon your planning this new strategy or this new approach, what is your feeling about the social need of businesses to mingle and meet other people and be a community? And how are you addressing that?
That is a very challenging thing. According to the event that I attended by the LA County, that they have spent since COVID $990 million to support small businesses. But only 13% of the recipients could mention where the funds came from. And what the challenges that they have is linguistic, trust for the government, correct? And the ethos and digital divide. That's why we're bringing training to our small businesses. So the Verizon digital training is free. It's in both language. It's not only online, but person-to-person training. Mount SAC is available not only for the webinar, but they can come to job sites to train staff on how to be good, productive employees. So we have partners that are ready to make this happen. Socially, as I said to you, there's splinter chambers of commerces. You know, you have Asian American and Indonesian and Indian. So we don't have collaborative relationship yet with those agencies, and we're ready to help.
Okay, and then actually you mentioned something during your answer, and it was with respect to the amount of money that the LA County is giving, and yet you say that the recipients cannot identify where the funds come from. It just occurred to me when I was listening to you that, for example, you were talking about doing RFPs. The RFPs are limited. It seemed to me that the training that you're providing for the public, you don't have to be a chamber member to get these trainings, correct?
That is correct, and let me share with you, every information that we provide on our website is free to anyone. Okay, the reason why it's free to anyone because the city of Denver supports us, correct? And the mission is to support and help every business, not just the members. So it's available to anyone that visits our site.
I guess that's great. I don't think we support you 100%. I don't think we are equipped to do that because we have our own our own funding issues, our funding challenges. The numbers that you pointed out as Diamond Bar, we are facing financial challenges of our own. So, we cannot don't count on Diamond Bar to do 100%, Aziz, sorry. But I guess what I'm hearing is that that other governments, other municipalities, and government organizations are the target of business and financial opportunities for members and the general public. Is that where we're going with the chamber now?
Would you please rephrase that question? I did not understand that.
In the past, a business seeks income, seeks revenue from the general public. And that's how they earn that's how they grow, and that's how they make money and profit and increase and all of that. What you're saying here is that, I'm going to show my customers, my clients, how to do RFPs, and RFPs are limited to governments and other municipalities. So are we trying to get businesses hooked into, let's take from the government's pot?
No, there are private agencies like Verizon is there, US Bank is there as partners, although you did not see them on the tiles. But there are private agencies that are available. In the future, when we look at the seminars that are going to come up, will be funded by private enterprises. They need to fund us. The model is shifting from less reliance on membership model, more reliance on sponsorship models, and the sponsors like Diamond Bar require results. Those days are gone where companies and cities gave you money because they felt good, that they're part of the community. Everybody wants results for every transaction, and we can produce that. So we talked about the funding model. For example, if I can touch upon the Visit San Gabriel Valley website model to bring visitors. There are models out there where the Chamber of Commerce will be funded based on the income result of those kinds of activities. So one example would be if you go to LA, Las Vegas, wherever you go, or a small town like Pasadena, that part of the transient occupancy tax funds these kinds of activities. It's a revenue share model. So you grow and we grow together.
Got it. Thank you very much, Aziz.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai, do you have a comment?
Thank you, Aziz. I appreciate that presentation. It was a lot of information, very quick. I'm not clear on what I was seeing. I think I saw 4 cities, and when we were talking about opportunities in sports tourism, is the San Gabriel Valley Chamber doing those, or are you showing us things that you'd like to do?
Okay, so what we are pointing out to you, as I did last year, that we have a unique location without the sports. We have a unique location that we are at the crossroads of the freeways, east, west, north, south.
Right.
So that's an opportunity. Now, when we talked about LA Olympics, in the beginning, the city of LA held everything within the city boundaries. Now the strategy is shifting. So now there are 4 events that will take place in our valley, not by our influence, but influence of our county supervisor, that these activities will take place close by, which means that we have a way to tap into those visitors to come to us. For example, cricket is the most watched sports activities in the world. And it's happening in Pomona. India is the leading cricket team. West Indies, Ireland, are leading cricket team. So when, as an example, when Indian team comes here to play, we have a key assets to attract the visitors here, even the players. Why? We have 5 Indian restaurants here. We have temple here, 5 miles away. We have a rich, influential Indian community in Diamond Bar. Those are good affinity group that exist to bring them here. And I had a meeting with one of the Indian, prominent Indian resident about this idea. And I would like to take that as an opportunity to meet with the City Economic Development Department to say, let's do something with this.
Well, I thought that's what the chamber is supposed to do,
Yes.
so I'm confused.
Well, you should, yeah, go ahead.
So the 4 opportunities that we saw relative to sports tourism isn't anything that the chamber has put together. You're just showing us what could happen in Pomona, in Anaheim, in Arcadia, et cetera. And so I guess what I'm hearing is we hope to be in the splash zone of spending because of these things that are going to be taking place in different communities, correct? Okay,
Correct.
Okay. And then you talked more than once about partnership with chamber. What does that mean? I know what it means to Diamond Bar, but when you're reaching out and you're looking to have a partnership with the chamber, what does that mean to whoever the partner is going to be?
Okay, it could be in many forms. Some are based on altruistic. There are people out there that are experts, that are intellectuals, that have retired, but they're experts in the field. They do it for altruistic reason. That's a partnership. If I went to a bank and say I'm putting an event together, like the Women in Leadership Forum, where we're going to teach women entrepreneurs to excel and grow in the business, they will require access to capital. Would you sponsor that event? They'll step and say, okay, I'll give you X number of dollars to cover the cost and run the event. That's another financial income that we gain. The other ones are colleges like Mount SAC. They have resources. We value the partnership. They're the members of the chamber, and in some cases, they also sponsor our event financially.
So you are generating resources from these different things that you showed us earlier. Companies are paying you to do that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said there are 85 new members. Where would we know? Where would we find them? Because when it was the Diamond Bar Chamber of Commerce, we knew who they were. We knew the new businesses in town. Where would those 85 come from? All
In the
San
region,
Gabriel Valley?
as far as New York, Long Beach, because they're doing business here. They come from the region. And more what we're seeing is that because of the shift in the way we do business from Main Street to internet, right, network-based, there are fewer and fewer retailers joining us. There are more and more professionals joining us. Because some of them, they quit the job or lose the job, they become an insurance agent, right? They become a real estate agent, et cetera, et cetera. So we are seeing more of that members. And the other reason you don't see them also, that the city managers' information shows that many sales-related activities in Diamond Bar are online-based activities. If you go to our post office, to UPS store here, you stand there for 10 minutes, you will see people in our community that works out of garages. Their home are shipping out hundreds of boxes, thousands of boxes a day. They are not necessarily the member of the chamber, although if you look at our website, we're freely providing them information to say the tariff is here. is going to impact your business, this is where you go. Okay, we'll be talking to Amazon in a couple of weeks. I've contacted them because they are now promoting Amazon shipping from vendors that produce things locally. So there are a lot of opportunities ahead that our citizens should know about and benefit from.
So ages ago, it was, the farmer's market was called Jack New Farmer's Market. Are we still doing that?
Yeah, the farmers market still exists. It's no longer Jack New Farmers Market. It was, and if you historically, when I became the president of the Diamond Bar Chamber of Commerce, that year the farmers market started. I named it Jack New because Jack New had put 2-3 years of work. Then the farmers market location shifted. It went from Diamond Bar to Walnut, right there by the school. And then we lost the lease there, so we went to Mount Sac. And the condition of moving to Mount Sac was we should name it Farmers Market in Mount Sac.
And so is it productive? Are we getting any traction
It is,
there?
yeah, it is very productive. Yes.
Okay. And then you mentioned something about the city managers in the San Gabriel Valley. How do you hope that they'll help? How do you see them helping the chamber?
By pitching like I'm pitching now. You know, I have to meet with them in person. I go to many events, shake hands, call them back, talk to them. And for your information, which you have not asked, okay, 3 chambers in the valley has approached us to help them rebuild.
So do you give them your
Talent.
but you don't bring them into the Regional Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, you're asking for a secret plan we have.
A step ahead of you. All right. Thank you very much, Aziz. I appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have one question. One of the slides you showed, only 68% of the high school graduates did not choose to forward to university or college. Is that for our city or just for the entire region?
In the region, they took a sample of 7,000 students, and this study is about 5-10 years old. So the organization called ERP, Education Results Partnership, is an agency that is leading this cause called skills currency. So they're asking the question, why is it that those who go to college and get a degree and they go to workplace, why 80% of them cannot function at workplace? Because they have the theoretical knowledge, they don't have the practical skills. So everybody is now talking about people should graduate with skills at hand. When I came to the United States 52 years ago, you can go to high school and learn how to drive, right? You can learn how to be an electrician. There were home economics class for those who want to remain at home and run their house. You can learn banking, how to open a checking account. Those don't happen anymore. So our students cannot practically function in our society. So what we are promoting, and we have partners now with Roland Unified School District, us and ERP, where this organization will be able to track, let's say the student's name is John Doe. John Doe is in 9th grade. Because of the data that is available, Roland Unified School District could share through a private partnership that John Doe is in 9th grade and taking these classes. And John Doe is excelling in math and science. Correct? So the counselor will be notified to say, here is a student that could excel in STEM. So a counselor can advise the student to say, continue in this path, and then we'll connect you to Mount Sac or Cal Poly and transfer you there. Contact a local business like SCE to say you're looking for people with technical skill. John Doe is studying in Cal Poly and Mount Sac in science. Intern these people, get an internship, scholarship them. So it's very targeted way of aligning students with future workforce and technology.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your explanation. Thank you for your presentation tonight. Well,
thank you.
Looking forward to continue to promote our business, commercial business, together with the chambers.
Thank you for asking those questions. It makes us work harder and better.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, we have public comments. Public comments is the time reserved on each regular meeting's agenda to provide an opportunity for members of the public to directly address the council on consent calendar items or other matters of interest not on the agenda that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. Although the City Council values your comments, pursuant to the Brown Act, members of the City Council or staff may briefly respond to public comments if necessary, but no extended discussion and no action on such matters may take place. There's a 5 minutes maximum time limit when addressing the City Council. At this time, I will call up speakers who have submitted a speaker card first. Then City Clerk Santana will ask for those callers join the teleconference who may wish to speak under public comments. And I have received a speaker card from Sincere Yu.
Good evening, Mayor Tan, Mayor Pro Tem Tai, Councilmember Low, city staff, and members of audience. My name is Cynthia Yu from Diamond Bar Library. On June 2nd, we kick off our annual Summer Discovery Program, which encourages customers of all ages to celebrate reading and curiosity, log books, attend library programs, and complete activities to earn prizes. Participants who complete the program will be eligible to win a 4-pack of tickets to Raging Waters. This year's program will run through August 10th, and we have set a goal to log 50,000 books countywide. We encourage all of you to participate online or in person at the Diamond Bar Library and help us spread the word. In our efforts to improve customer experience and avoid unnecessary fees, OA County Library introduced an automatic renewal system on June 10th, 2025. Items will be automatically renewed as long as they are eligible and no one else has placed a hold on them. This new feature is designed to give our customers more time with their items and reduce the number of materials being marked as lost too soon. Finally, all LA County Library locations will be closed this Thursday, June 19th, in observance of Juneteenth. Our digital library is always open 24/7. Please visit our website, lacountylibrary.org, for more information about our services and programs. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no speaker card at this time, but I would like to call a special presentation earlier that probably many people see a big check on the back of the audience. And I would like to invite the Southern California Gas Company to give a presentation.
Thank you very much.
And excuse me, after your presentation, we'll come in front of the dais and to do the presentation, okay?
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of the public. My name is Linnea Shields, and I serve as a Public Affairs Manager for SoCalGas. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here tonight. I'm proud to share that the recipients for the 2025 SoCalGas Scholarship have been selected, and I'm especially excited to announce that one of them is from right here in our community, from Diamond Bar High School. This year, 8 outstanding students from across our service territory will each receive a $5,000 scholarship, renewable for up to 3 years, totaling that commitment of $20,000 per student over 4 years. Representing Diamond Bar High School is Alyssa Wang. She's sitting right behind me, a recent graduate and one of the 8 scholarship recipients. Alyssa will be attending Princeton University this fall, where she will be majoring in aerospace engineering. Her academic achievements are truly inspiring. I'm going to just say a little bit of her academic achievements. During her time at Diamond Bar High School, she placed 5th in the Southern California chapter of American Statistical Association Poster Board Competition, spoke at the Chirogenetic Engineering Conference and the International Materials Conference for Harvard Center of Astrophysics, and became a California Scholarship Federation lifetime member. I told you, truly inspiring. This SoCalGas scholarship was designated to encourage students to pursue higher education, and I'm proud that since 2001, we have awarded more than $4 million with the scholarships to just over 2,300 students. Please join me in congratulating Alyssa Wang on her remarkable accomplishments. Congratulations, Alyssa. We wish you nothing but the best as you embark on your next journey at Princeton. Alyssa?
All right, can you, the honorable recipient of the scholarship, will stay here, yeah, okay, let's.
Congratulations. We're so proud of you.
Here, Lisa Wong, okay. Congratulations.
We'll have the mayor give some congratulations first.
Oh, this is very impressive. I'm so happy to see the student from our city, from our high school, receive such a big check. This is really a big check. And this all because they have the student has achieved a lot. So I'm very happy to be here together with my colleagues and the recipient and Southern California Gas Company for this ceremony. And I want to have our colleagues to say a few words. Then we'll have Alisa say a few words.
Great, thank you. Lene, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us this great news. We're so happy that Southern California Gas is a partner to higher education. I just am thinking about what Aziz just told us, about 68% don't even go to college. Well, this is an exception because our young resident here is excelling, and not only will she go to college, but it looks like she's going to be really excelling and completing. And congratulations. Just hearing about your major, your choice of major and your accomplishments, that's like blows my mind, and I feel like you're so smart. Good for you. Yes, but congratulations. We support you, and just we wish you nothing but the best, and we know that you worked really hard for this, so congrats.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm just thinking of your parents, and I'm thinking that they were, congratulations, this is wonderful, but I wonder about the conversation once you went to bed and your mom and dad are talking and they're saying, Princeton, what are we going to do? How are we going to? Look who brings in $20,000. Way to go. That's very, very exciting. You give old people like me hope for the future. So congratulations and thank you, Southern California Gas. Appreciate it.
It's the least we can do. You did all the hard work. Congratulations, Alyssa. Congratulations.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, you are award winner. Say a few words.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And I remember being in here just for the lens contest, the photography contest. Yeah. And I don't know. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Sophie. That's my little sister.
Can you tell us what's your career goal? What do you want to be after you graduate?
Let me help you. Oh, okay. Thank you. So I want to be an astronautic engineer. So, So I want to design satellites that create a more sustainable space, like space environment. So I hope to do that with my education at Princeton and this check.
Call my mom to come up and we'll do a photo.
Mom and the sister.
Lene? Lene, is that a new intern at the gas company with you? Good.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue the council meeting. And do we have anybody online or on the telephone?
Mr. Mayor, there were no emails submitted for public comment tonight, and there are no callers on the line at this time.
Is there anyone else want to address the city council? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comments section. Now, schedule of future events and consent calendar. City Manager Fox, can you please announce the schedule of the upcoming events and then proceed with the consent calendar?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Our summer concerts and movies under the Stars series will continue this Wednesday, June 18th, starting at 6:30 p.m. in Summit Ridge Park, and will run each Wednesday through July 30th. The Dreamboats will be the featured band this week with hits from the 50s, followed by the movie Madagascar, Escape to Africa. Coffee with the Cops, scheduled for Saturday, June 21st, has been canceled. The Planning Commission meeting scheduled for Tuesday, June 24th, has also been canceled. On Wednesday, June 25th, summer concerts will feature the Silverados, an Eagle tribute band, followed by the movie Ice Age. There will be free catalytic converter etching on Wednesday, June 25th, starting at between 9 and 11 at Calvary Chapel on Golden Springs. And our next City Council meeting will be here on Tuesday, July 1st, starting at 6:30 p.m. in the AQMD auditorium. Moving on to the consent calendar, and please bear with me, it is a long one this evening. You have approval of the June 3rd regular City Council meeting minutes, approval of the check register dated May 28th through June 10th, approval of the treasurer's statement for April, approval of a First Amendment to the agreement with Discovery Cube for environmental education services, approval of an agreement with City Green Consulting for solid waste consulting services through June 2027, Approval of an agreement with Architera Design Group for landscape and plan checking services and inspection services through June 2028. Approval of an agreement with Woods Maintenance Services for graffiti abatement services through June 2028. Approval of a second amendment with Wildan Engineering to provide temporary permit technician services through December 2025. Approval of a purchase order for the to Direct Connection for printing and mailing services of the city's newsletter and recreation guide for fiscal year 25-26. Approval of the First Amendment to an agreement with Simpson Advertising for graphic design services through June 2027. Approval of an agreement with BCT Entertainment for the purchase and installation of new audiovisual system in the Diamond Bar Center Grand Ballroom. Approval of the First Amendment to an agreement with All Cities Management for crossing guard services through June 2027. Approval of an agreement with GLUMAC for the preparation of the Civic Center energy study and preparation of plans and specifications for related infrastructure improvements. Approval of an agreement with IDS Group for the preparation of plans and specifications for the Diamond Bar Boulevard roadway stabilization project. Approval of an agreement with Prince Global Solutions for federal advocacy services for fiscal year 25-26. Adoption of Resolution 2025-21 approving the list of roadway projects to be funded by SB1. Approval of the Third Amendment to an agreement with Unix for traffic signal maintenance services through June 2027. Adoption of Resolutions 2025-22, 23, and 24, approving the engineer's report and setting the public hearings for July 15th to levy assessments for fiscal year 25-26 in landscape assessment districts 38, 39-2022, and 41-2021. Approval of a notice of completion for the cable channel broadcast and AV equipment upgrade at City Hall. Approval of Amendment 3 to an agreement with MCE for landscape maintenance services within the landscape assessment districts through June 2026. Approval of Amendment 3 for the agreement with CT&T Concrete Paving for road maintenance services through June 2026. Approval of Amendment 8 to an agreement with Exterior Product Corporation for decor and lighting maintenance services through June 2026. Approval of the First Amendment to an agreement with EcoFert to provide landscape fertilization services through June 2026. And approval of a Second Amendment to an agreement with Valley Vista for street sweeping services through June 2027. And that concludes the consent calendar this evening.
Thank you for the report. Does anyone want to put any items for discussion?
Mayor, I would like to pull item number 5.14, 5.18, 5.19, and 5.23.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Yes, 5.14, 5.18, 5.19, and 5.23. Otherwise, I'd make a motion to approve the consent calendar, except for those.
Do we have a second?
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. City Clerk Santana, can you please call for the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow is absent. Councilmember Liu is absent. Councilmember Lowe?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai?
Yes.
Mayor Tang?
Yes, motion carries. And Councilmember Lowe?
Thank you. Okay, so my, on number 5.14, that is the design services agreement for a portion of the Diamond Bar Boulevard, the stabilization project. And the amount of the contract is $122,568,000. You know, I went over to this location earlier today, and I read in your report that it was for a 70-foot piece of 70-foot long area of, I believe it's a sidewalk. It's for pedestrian sidewalk. So to me, that's about 4 car lengths, maybe 5 car lengths at the most. And my question with regard to this item is that there were 2 bids that were returned on this RFP. And the bids were so very far apart when they came in. One was, what, about 40,000, and the other one came in at 165. It just seemed so far apart that it was unreasonable. And it causes me to wonder whether or not there are some problems with the RFP as it went out. And part of that question was actually answered in the report, because what you had to do was you brought both of the vendors or the bidders into the city hall, and you talked to them some more. And the bidder with the higher bid, the one that came in at 165.9, so 166, that bidder came down to 122, and the other bidder went up a little bit. So it just seemed to me that there is an issue with that RFP, and I'm just really not comfortable with what we're getting. I mean, I understand that, you know, there's sinkage and it has to be stabilized. I understand that on this part of the sidewalk that is farthest away from the road, there's a retaining wall, and there might be some sinkage and some other issues. So I get it that there is work, but the way that these bids went out and what they came in, it just doesn't seem right to me.
Maybe I can ask our Public Works Director, David Liu, to comment on that.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, if I may, I'm going to have our Public Works Manager, also our Assistant City Engineer, to respond specifically to your questions. He was the project manager that oversaw not just the preparation, not only just the preparation of the RFP that you referred to, but also he negotiated with and discussed some of those specific questions we have from our perspectives in terms of who's the best qualified engineer to do to develop the plans and specifications. So, Hal, if you can come up here and just explain the process that we went through. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. So this, a couple of years ago, we came across this issue. We went through the process of using our available on-call geotech consultant to review the site and do an assessment. So these kind of projects, they are basically, right now at this point where it is, it's a very straightforward project. It's design work. And design work is based on the recommendation that the geotech consultant already provided. So the RFP is a standard RFP for design work, for preparation of plans, specifications, and cost estimate. There's not that much variation in this kind of RFP that we can change. When we went through the process for finding a consultant that can actually do the design work, as you mentioned, we received 2 proposals. And the problem is that for these kind of projects, anybody can say, I can do the design. But what we do, we look at their design work and we want to make sure that they can actually able to come up with a design that is the best project for the city. And for design consultants, the standard process, and that's how the law wants us to do, and that's how our city code is that we look at the details of the work, the proposal that they provided, and that the scope of work, again, because this is kind of very typical work, typical project, we look at the scope of work. It has certain components that should be there, and they need to provide sample works that they have done in the past, and also provide resumes of the people that have done those works. When we looked at these, we compared them. For the lower price proposal, they didn't have the staff that is needed to do this kind of work. We needed a structural engineer, we needed geotech people, and they didn't have it. That's why we reached out and said, are you able to provide this service with this team that you have. And they didn't have also sample projects. They came up with this revised proposal that still was not satisfying the needs of this project. That's why we had to go to the higher proposal. And when we spoke with the higher proposal company, they were able to, or staff proposed them to come up to remove some of the additional works that they were proposing. And that's how we were able to bring down the cost from 160 to 120. That's the very standard process for design. If it was a different kind of project that had some moving part, let's say, we could say maybe there was something wrong with RFP, but in this kind of work, it's very standard. It's just turning recommendation from the geotech to actual design.
What troubles me is that you mentioned a couple of times that this is a very straightforward project. Number one, so to me, it's straightforward. And you also mentioned that you've already had the geotech recommendation,
Right.
the geotech experts telling you that what you need to do. So it's just a question of simply designing it, which is, as you said, very straightforward. And if it's so straightforward, why is there why the need to have a sample and a sample of what they've done? I guess what I'm saying is, if it's a straightforward project, are we and you were able to talk to the vendor that had the higher bid and say, we don't need this, we don't need that. Maybe they are giving us way more than we need, and we're making the project more difficult than it needs to be. It's like me ordering a $300 hamburger from a Michelin star chef, and I could just get another one that is, just as good for $30.
When I said it's straightforward, it doesn't mean that the work is a simple work to do. It means the process is straightforward. The process is turning geotech recommendation into design work. So that's the process, not the actual design work is a simple design that whoever can do that. Besides, the other company is probably a really good company for other kind of works, but not for this specific type of works. So we need to keep that in mind when we are talking about this process. The extra work that the higher bidder or higher proposer was proposed to do was about, they were thinking that we need to do some sort of improvement on basically the land surveying area that they took into consideration was much larger. And also some other right-of-way requirements that they put in there, assuming that the city probably need to work on adding some right-of-way to this project. Since we are city staff, we are familiar with the site, we have all the details, we said, we don't need that because we define the area of study, we define the type of work that needs to be done. So that's why please remove that from your scope of work. That's how we brought down the price. It's not like we say, oh, this is a very simple work or simple design, and they were able to bring down the cost.
But the company that did the less expensive bid did not go and ask you to get right of way and do all these other things, correct? And that's why their bid is lower?
That's correct. There were many components missing from the proposal, and even with that, we gave them a chance. And the sample project that they submitted were not applicable to the type of work that we wanted to have. And also the team that they proposed, we didn't think that they can do the type of work that a public project requires.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Any other question or comments? No.
Did I finish the rest of the, okay, so thank you, Hal. Item number 5.18, that is the,
Well, because you pulled the item, you might want to move it now.
oh, okay.
Well, you could.
Just separately.
Hopefully, you all agree on all the items you pulled, because then it's going to get confusing.
Yeah, we do one by one, there's less confusion. So we do the 514 now.
Okay.
So any motion to approve item 514?
You pulled it.
Anybody-
Okay.
Anybody can make the motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we
I'll
approve
second.
5.14.
City Clerk Santana, please call the vote.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow is absent. Councilmember Liu is absent. Councilmember Lowe.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai.
Yes.
Mayor Tang.
Yes. So we pass item 514. Okay, next item put is which one?
5.18.
5.18.
That's the item regarding the two landscape districts. One of my questions is that when we've been working with the CPI this year, we've been working under the number of 3.1%. And I noticed that in landscape district number 39, the CPI increase that's embedded in the new rate is 3.42, and the CPI in District 41 is 3.00%. Can you tell me why is that?
Our Public Works Manager, Hal Ghaffari, will be able to
Just
respond
maybe
to
just
that.
stay there.
Sure. Good evening again. Our contracts, CPI is March to March. For the assessment district, it's December to December. So those are two different numbers.
So why is one district is 3.42 and the other one is 3.00?
That district is capped at 3. District 41 is capped at 3.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. So even if the CPI is 5, they're going to be capped at 3.
Correct.
Okay. How much did it cost the city to run these two engineers' report for these two districts?
Our typical cost was about $6,000. This year it's a little bit lower because we got a better proposal, this better consultant this year.
This is
$6,000 per district.
per district. Is that what we
And it's
normally?
part
Is
of
that
it, it's being paid from the district budget, basically.
okay? Okay. So can you help me out with? You've got on the district budget, which is my next set of questions regarding the district budget, and it's in our packet, page number 341 and 369. So 341 is for District 39, and 369 is for District 41. And the reason I'm asking these questions is because I get asked all the time, how is it that we get to this number, that how do we get to this dollar amount, and how does the city use our money if you're a member of that district? How people want to know if they're paying $560 a year, how is that money spent? So and that's why I'm asking these questions. So the first question is with respect to advertising. What kind of advertising do we expect to be used on a landscape district? It's not like we're getting a new business or anything like that.
No, the advertising is related to the cost. For the public hearing that we have to do every year, we have to do newspaper advertising. So right after this meeting, staff are going to be publishing the resolution that you are going to approve if you decide to, and that resolution with a map in local newspapers. That's the advertising cost.
Okay. You have in district number 39, $400,000 for additional enhancements and improvements. What is that going to be for?
Additional enhancement improvement is that CIP that we discussed about.
Excuse me?
The CIP that we discussed about during the budget process, like for District 39, District 39, it's 400,000. For District 41, it's 200,000. And that additional enhancement basically, as we discussed during the budget process for our CIP, is going to be a project that now, with the recommendation from the City Council, is going to include design and construction of improvement on our irrigation system and replacement of some of the plants so that we use less water and bring down the cost.
It was told to me that the amount that was in the budget that we approved is already in reserves. This tells me that you're collecting it for this coming year.
It is in reserve, but in the budget table that you see it, it's actually was moved from reserve to that line. Part of it is coming from the collection that we are doing, levy that we are doing this year, and part of it is coming from the reserve. But regardless, we would have done, if, let's say, if we didn't have the project this year, we still would have collect that levy, put it in reserve. But this year specifically, what we are doing is that we are using some of the new money and some of the old money sitting in reserve for that project.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that. When we talked budget, it was 600,000 that was in reserve. We already had the money because we talked about that. And we said we have to spend it because we've already collected it. And if we don't spend it, we should give it back. So since we have it, we want to spend it, and we're going to do A, B, C, D, which is exactly what we want to do.
Correct.
But now the way this reads is we're actually combining, we've been collecting reserve monies for what, 2 years now or 3 years?
Depending on the district, 2 or 3 years.
Okay, let's say 2 years, right? It's been at least 2 years. So this, this 400,039, that is for an amount that is, you're telling me now this 400,000 is not, it's part own money in reserves as well as new collections of money for the 25-26 fiscal year?
When we look at this, we look at that table can be misleading if we don't read the report, the whole report and everything. So the way it is that no matter, we have to separate revenue from the cost, from the expenditure. For the revenue, no matter what, even we had this project or not, we would have collected the same amount of revenue based on the structure that was put in place when we went through reformation of the districts. So the revenue would have been there. It doesn't matter if we get it from the reserve that we have there and is sitting there for this project, or we get it from the new or old money. It has no impact on the revenue, the amount of revenue that we are getting this year. So we can read it however the way that we want. You can read it as if this all is in the same pot of money. We can take it, we can put the new money in it and take the whole thing from that pot, or we can directly transfer it from the new money. It doesn't impact whatever is happening on the revenue side. So we can imagine, or we can assume, no matter what, however, depending how you read the table, you can say this is the whole thing is from old money, or you can say this is the old money and new money that have been mixed, and we take $400,000 from it. But still, the reserve amount, if we wouldn't take this 400,000, still the new money would have gone to the same pot and would have been sitting there for another year.
When you, let me ask the question this way. When you make the assessment and you collect 100% of the assessment in the district,
correct,
how much are you going to collect?
Depending on the year, so.
No, the year we're talking about, 25, 26.
Around $500, depending on the zone that you are for the
No, total.
I don't have the table in front of me, so I can read it from here.
Here, I have an extra copy of that.
So for District 39, let's say we are talking about District 39, the collection from the residents is $687,986. That's from the resident, and the city also has a general fund contribution, mandatory, and that's the total that we collect from them.
So the 687, is that residents plus city, or that's just residents?
That's residents.
Residents only.
Yes.
And so the 687, so we're not spending 687 in the upcoming year.
Part of it, part of it goes to reserve. Always for District 39, for example, always 33% of the total other costs goes to that additional enhancement line. But there were years that we didn't use that additional enhancement, but this year we are using it. So 33% of that 687 is actually for that specific type of expenditure.
So 33% of the 687 is part of that 400,000, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 lines above that amount?
We can read it that way. We
I
can
mean,
read that
don't tell me,
figure that-
I mean, tell me,
Yes.
I don't know.
So imagine there is this separate line of budget, a line of expenditure that we either use it or don't use it. And 33% of every year's money goes to that pot. And we wait a few years, and that becomes a larger number, and we spend it for additional enhancement.
So under those big numbered math, it's like 200,000 per year. That's 33%, right? About 200,000, give or take.
That's about
So
it,
in
yeah.
2 years, you would have 400,000
That's correct.
part to go into the enhancement and improvements,
To the reserve that eventually will be used for enhancement. improvement.
which is 4 lines up. That's the 400,000 from the last 2 years.
400,000 is coming from that account, yes.
And then another 30%, 33% will go into that same account at the end of the collection period,
That's correct, every year.
every year. Okay, I get it. Do you not get it? And is that the same? And then, so of the 687, that's the number that you divide by the number of parcels to get
Correct.
the amount, is that correct?
We have 3 different rates, but
Right,
they're
right. I
very
mean,
close.
yes,
they're
you
very
have the 3
close.
different rates, I
Around
get that.
500, correct, that's correct.
Okay,
About 1,200 parcels that we have in that district, they contribute, and this is the amount that we get.
okay, great, thank you. All right, well, that's all my questions for this item.
Any other question from Mayor Pro Tem? No? Do we have a motion for this item?
I'll move item number 5.18.
Second.
City Clerk Santana, can you please call the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow is absent. Councilmember Liu is absent. Councilmember Lowe.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai.
Yes.
Mayor Tang.
Yes, item 518 passed. Councilmember Lowe, do we have another item pulled?
Yes, I do, Mayor.
Please report.
Okay.
Please discuss.
Discuss. Item number 5.19. Actually, it's not really so much of a question as a comment and a forward-looking question. It's 5.19 is about the completion of the AV equipment at the windmill room. And it's my understanding that as lovely as this auditorium is, the reception that our residents hear when they are watching this on TV is of very poor quality. And I don't know if our city staff has received feedback like that, but I've received feedback that the sound quality is very terrible. And so my question is, can we look into, now that we have equipment over at Windmill Room, can we look at going back to the Windmill Room to hold our city council meetings? Hopefully we will get better sound. It's not as lovely, but we have better sound, and we will actually save some money. What do we think, council members?
I think we have discussed as one way to cut our operation expenditures during the last session. I think we can discuss in the future, okay? So for just respond to your comment.
Okay.
For future discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, when we bought that building and retrofitted it for City Hall, I think the idea, and David, I'm trying to think who else has been here as long as I've been here. I think if I recall, when we talked about using that room for our meetings, that it would be an additional expense of $1 million to put that all together. David, does that ring a bell with you?
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, I think I wouldn't be able to recall that, whatever that number might be, but I do remember that the previous city manager, Jim DeStefano, specifically looked at that possibility, and the cost was prohibitive at that time. And remember, this is a two-story building or structure.
right.
So any improvements or renovation work that'll be required of a council setting or format will require some structural adjustments and all that. But I wouldn't be able to offer you what I remember that cost might be there. But there was some rough estimates, and it was cost prohibitive, and I believe that was something that the council decided to continue to renew and
This was more
negotiate with the
economic.
AQMD. Yes,
This facility was more economical. And
correct.
that was,
At
that was,
between the two
right,
options.
that was, audio and visual was a minimum upgrade of $1 million, so.
Right, but also the room itself,
Right.
if we're talking about specifically the windmill room, there was some additional work that needed to be done.
Right.
So as an example,
To make
one of
it
the things I
work.
remember was the current ceiling. It would not, if depending what kind of, well area or how you want to be seated, there's different things that I was not particularly involved by, but I do remember that that option was looked at. And again, if this is something the city council directs the staff to look into it based on current environment in terms of probable cost, that's certainly something we can, get some idea. But once again, this is something that was looked at in the past, and I don't have the number.
Right, I appreciate that. No, I mean, the point is that it's not something as simple as getting, what are we looking at here? The updates, broadcast and AV equipment updates to make that more useful than what we have here.
So we need a future study, but tonight we're going to focus on this agenda item. Do we
Okay.
have any motion?
Yes, motion to approve 5.19.
I'll second.
City Clerk Santana, can you please call the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Chow is absent, Councilmember Liu is absent, Councilmember Lowe,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai,
Yes.
Mayor Tang.
Yes. So this agenda item is passed. Councilmember Lowe, do you have any other pulled item?
I just have one more, and it's item number 5.23. And 5.23 is a maintenance services agreement with EcoFert for landscape fertilizing services. And so when I'm looking at this, it is to fertilize the grass over at Pantera Park and Lower Bear Middle School. And with Lower Bear Middle School, I think we're talking about the fields that you see on the corner of Diamond Bar Boulevard and Golden Springs, that football field. And it seems to me that we are paying $47,199, so $47,000 to fertilize a grass for 1 year. This just seems a little exorbitant to me.
Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council, what I can tell you, perhaps what I can do is give you a little bit of the background. If you know when it comes to the uses at these two specific sites, both the Pantera Park and Lower Bear Middle School, they're high use and at the same time, without some proper additional enhancements, or in this case, the specific system the fertigation system that we have been using for many years now, we won't be able to maintain and allow the users to continue to enjoy the fields. And also remember, we have a separate lease agreement with the Pomona Unified School District for the use of Lower Bear Middle School. And I believe from a historical perspective, we started with testing this system with the Pantera Park. At the time, it was also because of the intensity of the uses. At the end of the day, basically, we have to redo everything, close the park for up to 8 weeks, I believe. Right. Yeah. And based on the success of that first time use at Pantera Park, we decided to, with the understanding and agreement with the Pomona Unified School District, we continue to expand the use of that system at the second site, which is the Lower Bear Middle School. Without it, I wouldn't be able to tell you what the grass or turf areas will look like, because this system does provide specific or promotes the rooting system to get stronger, and the vegetation continues to grow to the point that it can be used by all the different user groups. And we have our superintendent and our supervisor who can explain more about the advantage of having this fertilization system or this injection equipment that we have out in the field. Without it, I believe the playability of those two fields or those two sites will be very different. Again, these two sites are very, very heavily used, as we know, because of all the programs and activities. But again, it's been something that we have tried and tested for several years now, I believe up to 10 years now, or if not longer. And we don't have it at any other locations other than these two. And I think part of the reason is because the other sites are not as intensively used as these current two sites.
Well, that is my question too, is that we do have other fields. We have Summit Ridge Park, we have Sycamore Park, and we have Heritage. All of those get uses.
That's correct, but we don't think that when it comes to the high use, those other locations are not as intense as these two. But at the end of the day, again, if the council believes that we should expand this, we can evaluate all the other park locations and come back with a recommendation. At this point right now, we do have to look at the resources that we have. The last several years it has not been easy to do everything that the folks out there expect us to do, but we do our best. And if we were to come up with some kind of expansion, there are one or two locations that perhaps we can come up with, subject to the budget review and approval by the council.
I'm sorry, did you say you could do expansion of this service to other parks? I thought we were on a budget restriction that we're trying to reduce, not expand.
That's correct. We have not been talking about expansion for many years now, but questions have been asked by others in the community that why are we not considering for other locations? At the end of the day, our reason is that with the exception of these two parks or these two sites, because of the high usage and the intensity, every time when the players are done, we need to close the park and thoroughly just redo everything. And we cannot afford that kind of cost throughout the whole park system. But with that said, notwithstanding what I just said, there are two other locations that staff and we have been talking about the last few days too. As an example, Peterson Park. That could be another location. But is that going to be something that, based on the uses right now, I'm not really sure. That's something we'll have to work with our parks director and to see if there's any advantages if we continue to invest more into our park system, or perhaps the Stephen Fields. That's something that we will come up with a whole separate budget for your consideration later on.
Well, that was where I was going with the next question is, now we're talking about taking over Stevens Fields, and it seems to me that that is expected to be a high-use park once it gets ready.
You're absolutely correct, and that is on our mind right now.
And we're thinking of, I mean, to me, this is it's a very expensive way to fertilize grass. $47,000 for fertilizer. I mean, how much does fertilizer cost, honestly?
Expensive.
Well, let's be fair. We're not just talking about the product. We're talking about putting, and Pantera is a great example, getting it ready for that process. And is it 6 or 8 weeks that it's
8 weeks.
That's a long time. So I'm not sure one application of fertilizer is what we're talking about.
I would like to know how many applications we're talking about. Is it every month that we're doing this, or is it a one-shot deal?
Jason Williams, our supervisor, will be able to give you a little bit more specifics.
Members of the City Council. So it is every day. So it's a fertilizer injection system. The injection system goes directly into the main line of the irrigation. So every time it irrigates, it puts the fertilizer into the soil. It's managed monthly. Soil tests are taken in order to give the optimum environment for the grass to grow, to help create a stronger turf, which holds up better on the user group activities. Soccer, football, softball, these all take a toll. And this was a way we found to help ensure that the turf stays in better condition longer.
So it's basically fertilizer that goes into the watering system. It's not that somebody goes around and puts the fertilizer out there, right?
No, ma'am. There's a big tank in the ground, and it is filled up monthly. And every time the irrigation comes on, it is injected into the irrigation. It comes out through the sprinklers, goes through the drip system. It's mixed in, so it's a constant effort to try to keep the environment optimal in order to grow strong grass, in order to hold up to the user group's activities.
So this is product.
I'm sorry, what was that?
This contract is really basically for product.
Product, service, and the equipment.
Okay.
Council, Mayor Pro Tem, do you have any question? Oh, my question is, what's the comparison of cost of this new system with the good old ways, and what's the percentage that's more than the old irrigation system?
So as far as cost, this isn't a new system. This is a system that cities had in place now for a number of years. I believe about 10. This system has actually been in place here in this city. This is just a renew of the contract.
I would say compare with the traditional system.
So compared with the traditional, what you're really getting is an environment that's more optimal. With the traditional, you're applying it and you're getting how do I want to say it? A heavy dose at once, and then it dies off. By doing a fertilizer injection system, you're providing the optimal nutrients every day. Think about like a diet. You want to have a nice, healthy diet going all the way through. That's what we're trying to give the grass. We're not trying to go, hey, you're going to fast this month, and then we'll give you something next month. So I hope that kind of gave you some perspective of what we're looking at, but that's what the system does. As far as costs go, fertilizer is very expensive, labor is very expensive, but you're not really looking at the same thing, because the fertilizer injection is giving you something different than just fertilizer would on the ground.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Do we have any motion?
A motion to approve 5.23.
Any second?
Second that.
City Clerk Santana, can you please call the vote?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Chow is absent. Councilmember Liu is absent. Councilmember Lowe.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tai.
Yes.
Mayor Tang.
Yes. So this agenda item 523 is passed. Do we have any other item that need to be discussed?
I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to move to the next item, public hearing. We have none. Council considerations, none. And council subcommittee reports and meeting attendance report and council members' comments. Let us start with the council member Lowe.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First, thank you, Mr. Williams, Mr. Ghaffari, and Mr. Liu. Thank you for your answers to my questions. I really appreciate that. You know, when I'm I feel like when I'm working with your report, I am paying attention to what you do every 2 weeks when you submit these reports. So I hope that you take it as my respect for what you do, because it raises questions, and it's a part of how we make our city better. So I hope that you take that in that, because that's how I view the work that we all do here. So thank you very much for your for your work through the month and for your care in working on the contracts. And I think that our philosophy is that we want to give good value to our residents, and that's why we do the work that we do. And in the light of the challenging environment that is before us, it's more important than ever that we keep in mind that we are working for our residents and that we respect that it's their hard-earned dollars that fund everything that we do, and it funds the purpose for what we do. So it's in that vein that we work as hard as we do. So thank you again for your work. Congratulations to Elisa for her amazing win on that scholarship. It's not easy to get a scholarship these days, and it's really great that of the career that she's choosing to embark on. So congratulations to that. And I was really happy to hear about the auto renewal system from our library. So in case, just to reiterate, in case you missed the public comment, from now on, if you borrow a book from the library, you're not going to get an overdue late notice. They're automatically going to renew it for you. So unless somebody else has put a hold on that book, you just hang on to it and finish it and then return it. So that's a really great service by our library. I had occasion to go to a briefing for the 5760 Confluence Project yesterday, and I have a few photos I'd like to share with everyone. Okay, so this is the 5760 is, of course, our work in working on expanding our freeway, and this photo is taken at ground level, so the dirt that is in the center of the photo is the road that's going to be the new bridge. And as you can see, if you move your eyes over to the right, that's the 60 freeway where the cars are whizzing by. So we were right there on the bridge where it is going to be constructed.
Excuse me. When did you find time to take a picture with two cars on the freeway?
It's magic. But I wanted to point out the three big container things that are off to the right of the photo, just between the road and the freeway. So what they're doing is they're making the bridge, and in making the bridge, they have to dig like 120 feet down into the to the earth to put the footing. And one of the things that they find when they're digging down is lots of water. Our water table is only 10 foot down, so when they're digging up, they dig up a whole lot of water, so they have to pump out all the water. So all the hoses to the right of the photo are the water that's getting pumped up from the ground, and it's going through those tanks, which are square looking, and they go through each of the tanks, and every time they go through a tank, they get cleaner and cleaner. So that's one thing they're doing with recycling the water that comes from the ground as a result of this work. So that was a really good thing that I learned. Next photo, please. So as you're going on the freeway, you'll see these posts that are going to be ultimately supporting the bridge that will be above it. This item is it's what they call a steel cage, and this cage is going to be placed. It's going to be placed moved vertically, and it's going to go down 120 feet into the ground. And if I can have the next photo, please. This gives you a scale of how big that metal cage is. It's all completely steel. It's like, I don't know, 2.5 times our project manager there. And this is the thing that actually goes down into the ground. I hope I have a photo of let me show you the next photo. This one that is above the ground, this is going to be the inside of the posts that will actually hold up the bridge. So the first thing was the first cage that you saw goes under the ground, and this one is what you're going to see above ground. This is another view of that, and the crane that you see just off to the right, above, just next to the nets for the golf course. That's the crane that is necessary to lift these cages so that they can be placed where they ought to be. So this machine is the driller this is the thing that goes down 120 feet, making those big holes so that those cages can actually go into there. And I hope in the next photo we have a scale. Can I have the next one? Let me see if I can. The next one? No? Okay, so this is a close-up of that thing that drills, that makes those big giant holes into the ground for the what do they call that? The posts that hold up the bridge. Okay, so this is a photo that gives you the scale of how large that machine is. So it's, what can I say? It's like 100 feet up in the air. It's really, really big. And we're talking really big equipment here as they do the work. And can we go back a couple more photos, please? Okay, thank you. So this is the one of the retaining walls, and there's wood here that holds the concrete that is poured between it, and the concrete on the bottom of the photo, that is part of the footing that you'll see. And again, this footing goes down into the ground, like I can't remember exactly how many feet, but it's very, very deep. And you can see how wide these walls are. And this is what is keeping, actually what's keeping in place is the Ayers Hotel parking lot. And that's what's keeping the hotel intact. And this is part of the wall where the wood has been removed, and that's what it looks like when it's all done. And this is another shot at the new bridge that is being constructed. So to exit off of the 60 freeway off of Grand Avenue. And I think that's it. Okay, here's the big crane, big driller again. And that's it. Anyway, so it was really very, very, this is $400 million of your taxpayer dollars at work. So thank you to our staff and to the COG for guiding this project along, and we're looking forward to finishing it up. So thank you for joining us this evening, and with that, I'll say good night.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. Had a special meeting last week with the JPIA. We were looking at rates, insurance rates. Thank goodness the JPIA doesn't have to worry about homeowners and automobile, because I don't think anybody's getting anything. I don't think they're getting deals like we're finding with the JPIA, because what we have is not only national but international insurance providers. And what we found is that as we work more and more with them, and they see that the type of work that the JPIA does, they can find reduction in rates. So, Mr. Fox, you should see, if you haven't already, information that we might have thought it was going to be an increase of 18%, and now it's going to be reduced. So that's good news, and it's a result of the great efforts by the JPIA personnel to get the best rates that are available out there, whether it's for workers' comp or cyber safety or any other line of coverage that the agency provides. And I just am grateful. If we went out and we took a walk in Diamond Bar and said, we're a man on the street or woman on the street, and said, do you know what the JPIA is? Do you know? You would get 0 out of 100 people. So I'm grateful for what they do, and I'm grateful to be a part of it, and just wanted to share that with everybody. With that, I'll say good night and God bless you.
Thank you. I just have one comment that I was in Pantera Park on Sunday. It was sizzling hot, but what I observed is the grass was so green and so beautiful. Now I learned the grass was kept so well is because of this
EcoFert. Remember that, EcoFert.
Okay, so I got it. So surprisingly, I thought that under such a hot weather, that usually you will see a little bit yellow, brown grass on there, on the ground. But the impression was everything was so green on the very hot temperature there on Sunday afternoon. So it must be from this fertilizer system. So I think it's doing a good job in keeping our facilities in good condition. And of course, tomorrow is our Council in the Park series. So I wish everybody can join the city at the Council in the Park at 6:30. And with that, I will say good night to everybody. Thank you.